I get very excited when a woman comes to me telling me she knows nothing about her menstrual cycle because I get to go full nerd mode and frankly change her fucking life. So you're welcome. Here is the TLDR of this video. You're not the same person every week of your cycle. You literally shift into 4 different versions of yourself if you allow that to be true, which we're gonna talk about. And when you learn how to work with these phases instead of against them and pushing them, your energy, your sex life, your workflow, and your relationships, and your relationship to your body will never be the same. So let's break it down here. Phase number 1 is the menstrual phase. This is your inner winter. This is when you're bleeding. You are meant to go inward. You are literally shedding. There is a mini death that's happening inside of you. It is a sacred moment to reset, to deeply reflect, to soften, to slow down. Your estrogen is low, your testosterone is low. You don't really have the energy for much hormonally, and that's not a flaw. It's a divine design. So no, it's not the time to go to CrossFit and hit a really intense workout. The veil between you and spirit is really thin. I personally have the best meditations during this time because my intuition is on fire. I am so sensitive. So use this time to journal, meditate. If you're with a partner, maybe you're just cuddling during this time. It's not the time for intense BDSM scenes. Well, listen, I am a huge masochist. I love impact play. But during my bleed, it's all about the cuddles and the pop and watching a movie. It is soft. I personally had a client that she wasn't honoring her cycle, and so during her bleed, she would still hit a really intense workout. She would basically go about her life as if she wasn't fucking internally bleeding. And until she learned these frameworks, did she then start to soften and realize like, oh, I didn't realize that I was actually overriding my body's desire to rest, because she would always pop a Tylenol or an Advil to feel better. She wouldn't actually listen to what was internally happening. So just planting a seed here. If you're someone that does CrossFit during your bleed, why don't you contemplate that maybe there's another way to move? Now, phase number 2, we are going into the follicular phase. This is your inner spring. So in case you haven't noticed, yes, every phase correlates with a season. So during the inner spring, you are coming alive again. You have stopped your bleeding. Your energy is beginning to return. So your estrogen is rising. Inevitably, your capacity to play and create becomes big again. Well, not big, because that's ovulation, but it just starts to widen. So this is the perfect time to revisit your manifestation journal, start new projects, bring movement back into your body. Maybe you're not ready for the HIIT workout, but you still want to move a little bit. You can go on a cute date night because you're starting to feel spicy again. Maybe you're not fully awake and alive for really kinky sex, so maybe you just do oral sex or something very sensual, some tantric massage, some yab yum. I love yab yum. Maybe I'll make a video of that. But this is the phase where you're beginning to emerge. You're not blooming just yet, but you're emerging. So really feel into that, like almost like a rebirth. Then we have phase 3. This is ovulation. This is the inner summer. So this, you're awake, you are well awake and alive. Testosterone is up, estrogen is up. This is actually where your testosterone will peak. And this is where I go feral, personally. During ovulation, your body is biologically primed to make a baby. Even if you have zero desire to, your body is ovulating. Your body is like, right now is the time to procreate. So your hormones are gonna do everything that they can to make you feel magnetic and social and sexy and radiant. It is by design. This is why women are so fucking magnificent. We have these cycles inside of us. So this is the time to do the heavy lifting at the gym, to have really bold and passionate and expressive sex, to try out the kinky things that you've been wanting to try. Go to a networking event. Set your big goals. This is the time where you can really do visibility. So I'm actually in my follicular phase right now, so I'm feeling the energy to record again, whereas a week ago, I could not fucking record. Couldn't care less about recording, honestly. I just didn't want to show up online. So this is actually the phase where my inner dominatrix comes out as well. When I'm in a relationship, I tend to be more of the submissive type. I really like to just receive and relax within bed. But when I'm ovulating, I am a full fucking dominatrix, taking charge, running the fucking show. And I love that about me. I have a big range, and that's what I love to teach women. It's actually what I teach women inside of my Embodied Woman membership. So head to the show notes if you want to be a woman that's fully expressed. Anyway, wrapping up ovulation phase, this is your yes phase. This is your phase to say yes and go for it. Now, wrapping up phase 4, that is your luteal phase. So we start to slow down here. Your progesterone starts to peak and then it fucking crashes. Your body is either prepping to bleed or biologically prepping to support a pregnancy if you happened to get pregnant during ovulation. So this is a beautiful time in the energy of autumn to wrap up the loose ends, really get organized, begin to prep yourself for the inner winter. So reflect on what's working, what's not working, be really discerning with your energy, say no to what doesn't feel right. I know that personally, when I say more no to things during my luteal phase, then during my period, I'm not actually cramping and feeling shitty because I've done the work during my autumn phase to prepare for the winter. So sexually during this phase, you might feel more tender. You might just want the tantric massage or maybe a really deep and passionate makeout session, but no genital touch. Your body is gonna guide you to what it wants. You just have to be discerning to say yes and no to what it's telling you. So all of that being said, your sexual energy doesn't disappear here. I mean, frankly, it never disappears. You still have access to it, but it will show up differently within each phase. So here, think slow build, deep intimacy, internal sensations, instead of like more intense stimuli and expression that might be more of ovulation. So if you have a menstrual cycle, you're not just navigating hormones. You're navigating 4 completely different archetypes every single month. And when you actually track how you feel through each one, you unlock a lot more wisdom about what your own body needs, what the rhythm of your natural cycle is. Just because I don't love pain during my bleed doesn't mean that you won't. All of this is an invitation for you to see differently. So try out different things. This is all about discovering what your body craves. I personally used to hit the CrossFit workouts and the HIIT workouts all the time during my bleed. And then I started to test out how the softness worked and I was like, oh, I cramp a lot less and I'm much less of a bitch when I take care of myself during my bleed. I think being a woman is one of the most fun things in the world when we learn how to work with our natural feminine cycles, not just the menstrual cycle, but also just understanding who we are and what we desire. So if you're on a path of becoming a deeply embodied woman and you want to be a part of a group with other embodied women, head into the show notes for my membership because we explore it all. There is no topic left on. If this episode was helpful, don't forget to like, subscribe, share this with a friend, tag me on Instagram. I will certainly repost you. Thank you so much for supporting. I do all of this for free because I fucking love it. So leaving a review, liking, and subscribing, all of those things really do mean the world.